This is the Netflix one-month overview reading for the month of January 2024. It's currently November 26, 2023, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Netflix at the time of this reading was last in the extended hours $479.56. That's USD. And the shuffle video for the Netflix January predictions was created on October 25, 2023 at 1:48 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video here in the bottom corner. So overall theme and behavior for Netflix is going to be bullish, but it is very mixed, like many of the January readings that I've looked at. Very, very mixed. The wealth card is sideways rotation, a big move higher, and then sideways rotation at a higher price level. It's mixed with the crossed with the Magus card, which in the case of this reading, I believe to be a relatively bearish energy. The Magus card, in many cases, it can be either direction, but in the case of this one, I think it's going bearish. Behavior around the highest high, we have 3 pokes through the same price level, or the same trend line, I should say, followed by a sharp drop off of the third poke. And behavior around the lowest low, we don't have any significations on the timeline to the low significator, making it a little bit difficult, or a little bit tricky, I should say, to pinpoint the timing of the lowest low. But what we can say about the Dominion card as the low significator is that we'll see price swings around the low and probably see the low more than once in a period of price swinging. Before we go any further, I want to make sure everybody's aware the whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. And we do that by following the rule of karma for the channel, which is the unwritten agreement between the universe and the people utilizing this information for personal gain. The universe has no problem with people utilizing this information for personal gain as long as it's a part of helping other people. And the way that you do that is by following the rule of karma. So for all profitable trades, 5% of the profit should be donated forward to one of these charities. Just click here on a link and donate. 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel through one of these links to say thank you and support the channel. It leaves you with 90% of the money. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you follow the rule of karma for the channel, the universe considers you an angel investor. The channel is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel. Neglect to follow through on the rule of karma, and the universe is just going to ignore you. It's not going to be sending you abundance through this channel. So be forewarned of that. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get back into it. So first thing I want to make sure everybody's aware, if you're new, it's important to understand that each card going across the screen horizontally represents about 1 day of time. They're all numbered for the day they represent. But what's important to understand is that not each card's energy will line up perfectly with 1 day of time. So you have to give it some wiggle room, plus or minus a day here or there. For the most part, if not all of it, will be right on point as far as timing. But in some cases, it will vary by plus or minus a day or so. And in cases like that, just make sure to follow the sequence of events of the chart behavior predicted, because that will remain accurate no matter what. All right, so here on the second, we have a decline to and through support to be the second support. We bounce along that support for a bit, and then we break down through multiple supports into a prominent trough for the month there towards the end of the day. A pop and drop on the third, and a trade opportunity we'll talk about in more detail there. There's an important resistance level at a peak there towards the end of the day on the third, and an important price level on a 1-year scale minimum highlighted on the fourth. There's likely a prominent trough for the month there as well on the morning of the fourth or on the cusp of the third, fourth. We go from like the end of the day on the third being at a resistance peak to a trough early in the day on the fourth, and then we should see rallying from that price level on the fourth into the fifth, probably ending with a decline on the fifth and another trough at the end of the day. Likely that prominent trough won't be as low as the one from the fourth, but we'll talk about that in more detail in the paid version. And then the rally continues higher on the 8th, pushing the upper end of a range higher on a 1-month chart scale, and meeting a key resistance important on a 1-month chart scale minimum. The Ace of Wands indicates a prominent, the Ace of Swords indicates a prominent peak or crest there around the cusp of the 8th, 9th. And then there's a trough towards the end of the day on the 9th with a big move out of it to the upside, a fake out or shakeout or some sort of really scary chart behavior on the 10th. Let's see what I get for the 10th devil card. Yeah, so there's like a fake out there. We start out with like a decline, and then we end up moving to the upside, but the unicursal there indicates a good moment before a pretty significant decline, and then whatever move to the upside there on the 10th with that trade opportunity ends up, we rally into the 11th, but that rally is halted by a decline through key support, and that's probably that unicursal hexagram decline that the unicursal's talking about or warning of. On the 12th, we have a period of sideways bumping along resistance sideways, maybe breaking through, especially towards the end of the day. Pretty big move to the upside. It might be from a trough to a peak, or it might just be to a peak. There might be a trough in there on the 12th as well, and if there's a trough there on the 12th, it'd be towards the end of the day with a really big move out of it to reach a peak. So far, there's been 5 significant trade opportunities I'm going to talk about in more detail in the paid version. Before we go any further, let's take a look and see how we're doing for November's reading. So November was really like super bullish. The reading was super bullish, and you can see we really haven't gone down really. I mean, there's been a couple days that were down, but they didn't even like break into new local lows or anything. It's just been bullish all the way up. We had a highest high here on the 23rd, 24th. Boom, you can see that took place. And then there should be a higher one even still there on the 27th, maybe even the 28th before we declined pretty hard. We had a lowest low on the 8th. Looks like it ended up being on the 1st. On the 8th, we had, on the 9th, I should say, we had a pretty significant drop on, comparatively speaking to the other days of the month. But it didn't end up being a lowest low, so we're a little bit off on that. However, if you did go ahead and open up a long position as advised by the paid version there on the 13th, or even on the 10th, you could have done a partial on the 10th, and then completed that on the 13th, and then held it until we're instructing until the 24th, the morning of the 24th, you would have made a really solid profit there, guys. You would have gone from here, from 438 all the way to 479.80, almost 480, depending on when you got out in the day. And that would have been a super profitable trade. And that would have been that trade only would have been indicated, you would have only known about that through the paid version. So if you're interested in the paid version, guys, it's a really great way to support the channel. channel. You get a lot of information that you don't get in the public version. Aside from just where the prominent highs and lows are, you get the indication, like we time where the highest high and the lowest low of those are, any price level information that we're able to extrapolate. You get the any trades that are relevant from like a multi-month standpoint or a multi-year standpoint even, and all the best trades that we see throughout the month, as well as the chart behavior to look for as far as exit and entry points for those trades. And then we even top it off with, for Netflix, it would be a comparison to the performance of the S&P 500 over the same January period, and kind of tell you which one will perform better. All of that in the paid version. You get the paid version here on our website, Terra for Traders. Hover over our services, click on SO Meta Posts, scroll down to monthly subscriptions, click here to order. And in this case, we're subscribing to Netflix. If you're interested in the paid version of more than one of these crypto or ticker symbols, which you do a monthly subscription for any of them, if you're interested in more than one of them, I highly recommend the 30 days access to all paid. It gets you the paid version of all of these tickers and crypto, as well as Amazon, Google, Nvidia, and soon to be Microsoft. There is one more monthly option if you're interested in having your own custom monthly done. We did start doing custom monthlies again. Our services, SO Meta Posts. Scroll down to custom monthly reading, click here to order. These are pricey though, $500 for a monthly because it's custom. I don't want to get stuck doing a lot of these, even though they're very, very accurate. So thank you to everybody that goes ahead and does that, guys. You're really the core foundation of support for the channel, and I know you guys by name. Definitely recognize you. If you have a different name on the live, let me know who you are on the, as far as like the member or the email associated with your subscription on the website. But thanks again, guys. And let's get back into it. All right, so a prominent peak or crest early in the morning on the 16th, and then a really notable decline. Probably one of our biggest, if not the biggest decline that we have of the month, from the 16th into the 17th, where we have a pretty prominent low. If not, it'll be a prominent low for the month, with a significant move higher on the 18th to a peak or crest. I'm advised not to chase that rally because we have a full retracement of that move back down on the 18th into the 19th. So a prominent peak towards the early part of the day on the 18th. Another prominent peak on the 19th in a period of volatility, and a sharp drop that'll stand out in that period of volatility as well. A notable decline on the 22nd to revisit a support level that we recently met once before. It's probably the same support we saw on the 16th, 17th. In a lot of the January readings, we're seeing the same support there on the 16th, 17th as on the 22nd, 23rd. And then there's out of oversold territory, a notable move to the upside on the 23rd. This will really stand out. It'll either be like a gap up, or it'll be a big move higher filling a previous gap down, or it'll be like a big move out of oversold territory to an important peak and trade opportunity on the 23rd midday. And there's also a day trade opportunity on the 23rd. I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version. Another prominent peak early in the day on the 24th. I'm advised to be cautious on the 24th. Some sort of misdirection, multiple false tops, bottoms, or some sort of tricky reversal, something that can make you impulsively do the wrong thing. So I'm advised to be cautious. Looks like it's a prominent move higher and then another move back down. So like a pop and drop. And then on the 25th, we have sideways rotation. We rise to meet the nearest resistance and fall back down and continue rotating sideways along that key support. U-shaped dip with two peaks in it on the 26th, and possibly another prominent peak or crest there on the 26th, or the 29th even. Sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears inflow and outflow on the 29th, moving sideways overall. And then on the 30th, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance, followed by a decline through key support, and then it looks like a really big move to meet peak midday to the upside. Prominent peak on the 31st, we have sideways rotation establishing support, and then a big move higher standing out on the 1 month scale. February looks like a lot of volatility from the standpoint of this preview card being the Prince of Swords, and I'll talk about February in more detail in the paid version. That's Netflix for January 2024, my friends. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. If you have done so, please share this with somebody you think it'll help. Really helps out the channel to subscribe and share. But most importantly, make sure to follow that rule of karma, guys. It's the whole purpose of the channel. You know where to go. You know what to do here on the resources tab of our website, Terra for Traders. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay tuned if you got the paid version.